Good morning, 7th standard. Again, Mrs.Sheela Bosco for your biology class. Lesson number 17, Forest is our lifeline. Yes, lifeline. That means who are all having life? All living things are having life. That includes trees also. All plant kingdom, animal kingdom, we call them as living things. Here, forest is our lifeline. Why are they saying forest is our lifeline? See, this you have already learnt. Without trees, no oxygen. Without oxygen, no life in the world. Right. That we see. Apart from that, we have a lot things to learn. But it's a very simple topic because it is about within 20 minutes you will know what is forest. You all know it, and consumers, producers, all that you know. What you have learned, I'm just going to recall and refresh it. That's all I'm going to do it. Now first we'll go forest. When you think about a forest, wow. Now think about forest. Only we can think about forest. We cannot go and visit the forest. When you think of a forest, what all comes in your mind? Yes, I could hear. Immediately you say trees. Yes. Are the trees all the same size? No. Even human beings are not in the same size. Our animals are not in the same size. Everything depends, some are tall, some are short, some are fat, some are thin, some are having small leaves, some are having big leaves, some are having yellow flowers, some are having blue flowers, some are having red flowers. It's all depends. Some are having big fruit, some are having small fruit, some don't have a fruit at all. It's all, see, unity in diversity. When we call India, we are united with the different people. The same thing, forest also has lot of diversity, but they are in one place. Now, when you take a forest, living things are there in that. But the forest is like a, it's a lungs of the world. Why I am calling lungs of the world? We have to breathe. This is the breathing organ, lungs. That's why we are calling forest. Because it is giving out carbon dioxide, we call lungs of the earth or lungs of a life. Like the forest, it is giving out. Then next, I would say, mother of living things. That's my own version because it gives food for every living thing. Every living thing, it is giving a food. So, forest, when you call it as, it has a different type of living things. In the forest, you have trees, you have animals, small animals, big animals, microorganisms, small trees, big trees, long trees, tall trees, short trees. See, all these are there. Big leaves, small leaves, red flower, blue flower, all that, fruits. Okay, fine. This is we call it as a forest. A forest, a place when we think about a cool, nice, full of oxygen, full of refreshment, full of life in the forest. Yes, feel like running into the forest and stay there for some time because of the pandemic period. Come on. Now, after forest, I'll take you to a different version of forest. Profile. See, when we say class 7, there is a profile for class 7. All are good children. Nobody keeps the homework pending. All finishes the work like that. The forest also has a profile. Profile sense, it has its own, what all it is there, how it is useful for others, all that. I'll just continue that. The next picture will take you to that profile picture. Okay, I will call it as a forest profile. What is forest profile? After the picture I will explain. Okay, now for this two forest picture you should thank me because it looks so fresh and beautiful. Okay, one more think about one more stream or fall, then it will be very nice. Yes, I'll come back. You had a break? Okay, fine. Now I'm continuing the class. I told you, I spoke to you about soil profile, or forest profile. I'm sorry, forest profile. Nothing, there is not a very big thing about it. We have a dense forest, yes or no? The dense forest, all the trees are like, they are not allowing the sunlight to come in. Very streaks of sunlight will come in because the trees are so close and the branches are widespread, and the top part we call it as a canopy, the uppermost layer of the branches, like like a bunch on the top, greenish, like a bed on the top. No, that is called as a canopy. This is a forest profile, that is the top part. Then the next part we call it as a crown, where the branches spreading out, that part we call it as a crown. Then the next part, all the small plants are growing, like ferns, shrubs, grasses, all that, it's grown down below the trees. That part we call understory. Then the last part we call it as a forest floor. There you have a smallest animals, like small animals like insects. Then you will have a very smallest plants will be there. This is the soil profile. You have to understand only 4 words. Okay, imagine plant, a big tree, right? A big tree, hundreds of trees together, right? Imagine how it will be. So beautiful, no? To imagine, right? On the top part, it's not like a floor, it will be up and down, but that part we call it as a canopy, that part. Then next, where the branches are widespread, we call it as a crown. Then we call it as understory, all their small plants, like we call it as shrubs, also that much small plants, shrubs like ferns, all these plants comes under this area. Down, floor, earth, where you will have small animals and smallest plants. That part we call it as a forest floor. These are all the 4 words with explanation I told you of what is forest profile. Next I'll go on to the why so much importance the forest and the trees are. Just we call them as lungs and all that, because we have to know what is the uses of a forest. The first use is soil erosion. What do you mean by soil erosion? See, nobody cleans the forest. Nobody cleans the forest. What happened? All the leaves, dried leaves, falls, right? Then the microorganisms will decompose that. Again, it goes as a fertilizer to the same plants. That is why they are rich. Nobody is stealing it. Nobody is cutting it. See, that is why the forest, actually the dense Amazon forest and all, it's actually full of wealth. That is because of them. The running water, the flood cannot take away the topsoil. The topsoil, it consists of humus. Humus, they are rich of rich minerals for the plants. The humus, the part which that is not carried away from the soil. That is why all the plants grow well, especially the roots that comes out, and it will stop the soil erosion. That will the topsoil cannot be carried away. That is the first thing. Then temperature. It controls the temperature. Suppose if you are feeling very hot, no fan in the class, what are we doing it? Immediately what we do? Carry a chair, come we'll go out and sit. Yes. Same thing, why are we going out and sit under the tree? To get cool, fresh, nice air. Make us cool. It's a totally, if it is a forest, the whole area will be controlled. The temperature control will be done. It is acting as a windbreakers. So, windbreaker sense, see some of the tall trees, it's not allowing the wind to go in a very strong this one. It will stop in between. It will stop. Try to manage the speed. That will not affect the other areas. This is called wind breakers. Mostly it will actually move against the storm. It will stop, one place it stopped means it may lose the force. Okay. The next we have about global warming. I think it's a very big topic and it's a very necessary topic to talk about, but I need 1 week time to talk about global warming. Now I'll explain only 2 sentences. See what all we have done wrong things, now we are suffering with corona. What all we have done to the earth, we are suffering. Now we have burnt everything, lot of chemicals, we have not left the mother earth peacefully. Because of that, the layer of the atmosphere have holes on it. Because of that, the sunlight falls directly onto the earth. That is not good. It is a regulator. Okay, there is a layer of regulator. There you have holes in it. Because of that, the holes, the trees will help us to control the global warming by giving more coolness and giving this one. This will reduce because the poisonous gas and chemicals only, it will make the holes in the atmosphere. So, it will take, suppose if you have more trees, what happened? For photosynthesis, for preparation of food, they take all the carbon dioxide, the poisonous gas. Okay, the pure air will be purified air, so it will not affect the atmosphere. Okay, the global warming will be less. Then, this is another furnitures, all full furnitures, firewoods and medicines, all that we are getting from this one. Next, rubber, resin, rubber, cane we are using it for making furnitures, and we are using it for baskets, all that, screens. See, they are using in different formats. Bamboo, it's one of the nice biggest grass. This is useful making paper. That's why we have to grow more. That's why we are having lot of problem now. After a century, after 100 years or so, I don't think they know about papers. It's because already we are in shortage of papers. It is because we don't have much of bamboos now. Latex means from the tree we get a white milk like thing. With that only we make rubbers. Resins, this is one set of material. It's used for making paints. These are all the main uses of the forest, trees, forest, everything. Okay, we have very rare medicines from the natural medicines. Interdependence of plants and animals. See, Interdependence. What is mean by interdependence? Dependence means we are depending on someone. See, making a dosa, everybody depending on your mother for making a dosa in the morning. Yes? Yes, correct. Interdependence means both are helping each other. Interdependence. See, some plants useful for animals. Some animals help them for reproduction. They are interdependent in different ways. We will talk about food chain little later. Before that, I want to tell about producers and consumers. Producers. Plants are always producers. They are only producers. All of us are consumers. Because they produce their own food and they give food for the animals. We, the human beings, we have divided into 3 groups: herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. Herbivores eat the plants itself. Carnivores eat both, and carnivores eat only the flesh. But that also they are depending on plants, because if it want a flesh, the animal should live. Yes or no? It has to eat the grass or eat the leaves. So omnivores eat both. That is why we call the plants are the producers and we are the consumers. Then we have all the plants, the decomposers. We need decomposers to get a clean earth. First of all, it cleans the earth and makes the unusable or unused materials, not usable materials or dirty material into a beautiful, very useful material for the plants. Healthy tonic, healthy humus it is giving for the plants. Now, what is mean by food chain? Food chain means not standing in a row and eating, not like that. See, the producer, it's eaten by a primary consumer. Who is the primary consumer? For example, we'll take ourselves, alright? I'll just tell you what is happening. Goat, right? The goat is eaten by, it's eating the grass, right? That is eaten by human. It's a chain. It's a human, small chain, kutti chain. There are big chains you have. I'll just tell you what is a big chain. See first grass, right? First grass. The grass is eaten by a grasshopper. The grasshopper is eaten by a frog. The frog is eaten by a snake. The snake is eaten by an eagle. The eagle dies, and what happened? It goes food for the non-green plants, mushrooms. See the food chain? See, the producer is grass, the primary consumer is a grasshopper, secondary consumer is a frog, tertiary, that is third consumer is a snake, the last consumer is a, you call it as a eagle or this one. The last is a decomposer. What happens? It dies. Either the snake die or the bird die, whatever dies. Now what happened? That will become the food for the non-green plants and it will decompose it. The decomposer uses this and decompose it. Okay? This is the primary consumer, means the first person. Then the first person eaten by the second one eaten by the third. It can be a long food chain. Yes, this is called food chain, and this is it has to go in a balanced way. Otherwise, what happens recently? What happened? If I am talking about food chain, there was something very big thing has happened recently in North. What happened? The grasshoppers eaten the whole area, food. If grasshopper is more, what happened? Food grains will be nothing. If the frogs are more, now what will happen? It will eat all the grasshoppers. That's why every animal helping us to live. in a peaceful way. If you have a rat at home, bring the cat. What will happen? It will eat the rat. No need to kill it. This is called balancing the nature. See, one animal cannot dominate the world, or one thing cannot dominate. Only one tree cannot dominate. It has to be in a balanced way. See, when the food chains are interconnected each other, form the food web. Now the energy flow. How the energy flow from one plant or animal and goes to the second one. The energy flow from the food chain to another food chain. See, the energy only they need it, no? Once they have taken, the calories will go to the other this one. Then it will be transferred to the next one. This is called energy flow. Ecological balance, I just spoke to you. It is very, very necessary. Here, I want to tell you the objectives of this lesson you have learnt so far. The forest is a very important place. It is the lungs of the earth. Why they are calling? Because we are getting more oxygen and it take the poisonous gas. It's useful to regulate climate, to prevent soil erosion, and we'll get lot of medicinal plants, medicines, and useful timber, and very rare sandalwoods and all that, and firewoods, furnitures, rubber, resins, bamboo, to make can chairs, baskets and all that. These are all the food, fruits, then vegetables, whatever it is. The plants and animals are interdependent each other. The food chain forms the food web. If there is no forest, no life on the earth. What will happen? Our diversity will go away. Then what will happen? Slowly, that is what I think every lesson I spoke to you about endangered. We have endangered plants, extinct plants. See, when I traveled from one place to another place, say from Trichy to Chennai, we used to count within 50 kilometers. We used to count more than 100 tamarind trees. Now not even 10 tamarind trees are there. This is the best example I would give. This is the change. That is why the price of the tamarind goes up. The same thing, when we are traveling to Tanjore, you could see green floor. See, the road will be in the black color in the middle. The bus goes. See, it will be a treat for our eyes. Green floor, green full floor. Now if you see, in between buildings, in between there are some parks, in between everything some trees, in between no water, droughted lands. That means it shows why the rice price going every day up. See, we have to think about all this, right? We have to take care of this forest. How to take care of it? We have to stop cutting down trees, first of all. Then we have to encourage afforestation, discourage deforestation. Deforestation means cutting down trees. You have to encourage afforestation, planting trees. All this you have learnt in this lesson. If you have any doubt, you can come back to me. Till then, bye. Stay safe.